Hi, Beck Ann here, and I wanted to share with you a great craft fair or Mother's Day gift that I've been working on. I've been using this Creative Expressions Angel Bunny, and I think you still can get this. I bought her from scrapbook.com, and I'll check all the information. This is designed by Sam Poole, and I bought her, I guess, in February because I fell in love with her. I actually had seen her on the channel Cecilia's Cottage, and she had done a video on how to make little bunny angels. Well, when I saw her, I actually thought, she's more of a springtime garden angel. That's what I had thought when I saw her and fell in love with her. She's actually quite bigger than this. I'm going to show you what I've been working on. This is the project that I've been doing. I bought this at Dollar Tree. That's where I got it. Dollar Tree in February. So I went back there. I'm going to make sure I can get the whole thing in frame for you. I went back there to get some more, and after I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There. After I fell in love with it and made this, I thought, oh, I want to go get some more of these. Well, I couldn't get this exact one, but I got something pretty darn close that I think I'm going to like even better. So I want to make one of these for you and show you how simple it was to make. But before I do that, I want to show you the star of the show with this. So if you look, my little bunny is clothespinned, and I got the clothespins, these little tiny clothespins at the Dollar Tree as well. I clothespinned her up. I have a dot of Velcro, a Velcro dot. I've made these cute little outfits for her, and I made one for every season. So if the person that has this changes it with every season, so we've got a spring outfit, and there's a little Velcro dot back there that holds it on. So we got spring, summer outfit, fall, and winter. So I want to give you an idea of how I put this together so that you could make something similar. Now this frame, I bought this in February, and I went back to get some more today, and they didn't have it exactly like this one. And I actually thought it was taller. I found these there, so you'd be able to get this there, or any kind of frame that has a little bit of an indentation. See how there's how it goes in this block. This is a wood block, but it is actually very similar in height. This one might be just slightly taller, but I'm going to show you how I put this cute little bunny frame together so that you could make something similar. All right, so here we go. Let's get started. You can get 2 bottles this size for less than $18, I believe, on Amazon. And sometimes you can get deals like free shipping. So this PVA glue is got it's not too thick. I think I have trouble with some of the glues. Now, the glue in this bottle is this glue. I just refill it all the time right back here. I take off the back. This glue is, let's see, this glue is Tombow glue. And when I finished the bottle, I just started putting the PVA glue in this bottle. there are times that it clogs, and I just simply use a pin and unclog it, but I like just refilling this. So this is the glue we're using, and I just put it all on here like this. Sorry about that. All right, so it fit right in there. Okay, and I did take just a little off the edges, and you can see this little bit of black showing. That is not going to matter because we're using lace, and you're going to pick whatever lace or rickrack, whatever you decide to use. You're going to put it right up to the sides like that. And I wanted to show you the glue that I use. I like to use this liquid stitch. I can find it at Michael's and at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure you could get it online, and I'm sure there's other ones people use. I just happen to like this. You probably could even use hot glue. Now, I did use some hot glue on my project, but not for this part. I also like to use my fabric scissors to cut this just because it makes a nice clean cut. So this is how I'm putting it all in there. All right, so I'm going to finish this part up, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm finishing that up right there. And don't worry that you can see white. It dries completely clear. All right, completely clear. So that's that portion of, and I don't even have to wait for it to dry to finish my next part of this, okay? So the next part had to do with making the button place, and this I will have to use my hot glue, and use whatever twine you have, but I am using some Stampin' Up. This I had gotten. I also bought some jute. I think jute would work just fine too, but I am using this because it's working for me. All right, so what we're going to do next is put this across here and hot glue it. I got to plug my hot glue gun in. All right, and I told you before, I hate hot gluing. I really hate it, but I only do it when I need to. So we'll be hot gluing a bow on top and the button, and hot gluing right here. That's all the hot gluing you need. And if you were patient, you probably could use the liquid stitch for those pieces. I just am not patient enough for that. All right, so that's the next part. So I found 2 buttons that match. I just went through my button bin, and I just played around with different colors and sizes, and I liked these darker ones. So I just made a match, and they're going to fit there real nicely when I hot glue it. I wanted to show you how I did the twine. This is a linen thread, and it's Stampin' Up thread. I think whatever you like will work just fine. I threaded it through starting from the back, and just like this, I thread it through the back because I want it to end up in the back, and then I did it across. Like this, and I come through the back again, and because I want it to end up in the back, just like this. And sometimes, like, see how it's starting to thread out, like shred out, sort of? I will trim it right in the middle of what I'm doing so that I can get it flat again. I do have this thread helper that I barely ever remember to use. It's close by, but I don't take the time to go grab it. There. Alright, and then I tied a knot. So on camera, it's awful hard to do it. If you weren't watching, I'd have it done in a second there. Like that. And that's how I got it to look. Now I wanted to show you a little trick. So if you take it, see how it's straight? If you take it and start playing it with your fingernails, it starts to curl for you, and you can get it real curly if you want. See how it's starting to curl? Just don't pull it too tight, and that way it gets a little curl to it. So this was linen thread. And that's how I'm going to put them in there. This was, I'm going to say, it's like a jute. This one is more of a thick twine, but you could use like a jute. I want to have just a little bit of give in there. So this is where the hot glue gun comes in, and like I said, I hate hot glue. But you want to do it right in the corners. And I'm going to do them one at a time because I want to get the right amount of give in here. See, I've already got my finger on it. Just like that. Okay, now I want there to be a little bit of give in there because you want to be able to clip your bunny on, and then I can clip, yeah, that'll be good like that. Let me grab a bunny. I have extra bunnies too that I had made. It's good to, before you do that final part, make sure you're happy with it. So let's clip her on so we know where she'll be hanging out, right? I just feel like you want to test it so that you get it where you want it. And I like that there's a little bit, see, I can move it. There. That way I know where she's going to hang, and then I know how far. Okay, so I want you to see I have it towards the bottom. So to give her a little more give, I'm going to put this one to the top, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't want her feet hanging off. I think that's going to work out nicely right here. So you just want to do your twine so that you have give and you can determine where you want it. I think that's perfect. All right. Then you're going to just clip your to get the excess off and let her sit a minute. This is what I hate, all the strings and all that kind of thing. There. I think she's looking quite lovely. There. Oh yes. See how easy that was? So that's how you're going to make it. Now this is one that I had made earlier. Make sure that that's set nicely before I take her off. I was going to put her on a card. That's when I got the idea to change the dresses, was making these. And I had colored her up with some Copic, or I should say alcohol markers. Look at how easy that was. Now, you don't have to, if you're like, Becca, I don't have the bunny. I can't do that. Well, guess what? You could do whatever you wanted. This is a little sign I made when I was making my last video about the paint splatter. You could have something like that hanging there. You could have a Mother's Day saying a poem, a picture of your family, anything that you could hang up like that. So I wanted to talk to you about the bow. This is some felt ribbon that I have. That's some really old Stampin' Up! Ribbon. And it is not so great for cards, I don't think. I maybe made a couple cards. But it is great for projects like this. And all that I'm going to do for the ribbon is take it and fold it over itself like this. Alright, and then I'm going to take some of the linen thread and tie it in the middle to make it tight. And then I'm going to put a button right there in the middle. See? So it's going to look like a bow that I didn't have to tie because I don't want that big bulk in the middle because I want to be able to hot glue the button there. Alright? And now I can kind of pull it a little bit to get it the way that I want it. See where we're going with this? And then the button is going to go right there in the middle, like that. I'm going to want to put some of the twine in there, and I liked that I picked a button. I feel like I might need it a little tighter. I like that I picked a button that, there, it only had 2 holes, because it's just a little easier to deal with sometimes. But these are nice big holes. Sometimes on on the 4 holes, sometimes they're smaller, and then you got to deal with that. I don't want this twine to show, so I'm going to cut it pretty close. We're going to hot glue that on there. And I'm going to thread this, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now I have my button, and to get this effect, see how I have the loops? I wanted to show you what I did. And this is tricky for me because I want to use the hot glue. And I don't, it's just because it's much faster to do it. Okay, so I put a little hot glue in the middle there, and I hold the side and I loop it over into the hot glue from both sides, like this, to get my loops. I have to be careful because you know me and hot glue. Okay? And that's how I got the loops. I trim it. And we're going to hot glue it right here in the middle. You won't see me use hot glue a whole lot on my channel, I don't think. I know there's some things at Christmas time I'm going to want to share with you, because I do use hot glue on that as well. It's still to where I can move it some, so that I can move those where I want it. And then, since that one, can trim this a little bit. There we go. So the base is all finished. What do you think? You like it? Now, I'll be back with how I did the dresses. So this is when the stamping platform really comes in handy, everybody, is when you've got an image that's sort of big and you're going to be doing it multiple times. If I only was going to stamp this once and color it, I could put it on a block and I'd be fine. But because I'm making multiples of it and I'm doing paper piecing for her outfit, the paper that I've used is, I liked this polka dot that I have. I thought it was kind of fun because it shows up a little bit on her wings. And so I did it on pattern paper and fussy cut it, and then I did it on white and I glued it together. Alright, but when I did these two bunnies, I didn't do that. They're just one because I was coloring them, and then I used some paint on the wings of this one, and I did some tea dye ink around these wings. And these are cute, but they just didn't do it for me like this did with the polka dots. And I was just experimenting. You can play all day doing this, let me tell you. But I wanted to show you the paper piecing. So I have this on a platform. I hope everybody had a great weekend, or actually by the time you see this it'll be Friday, because I'm making this at the beginning of the week to have it ready for the end of the week. So I hope you have been having a really good week. Here in the Midwest we're having nice weather. I'm not complaining. We've had 70s and 80s. It's great. All right, so what I'm going to do now is cut this out, just the dress, and this is really easy to fussy cut. You're going to cut off her hands, and I'm cutting, a couple times I actually cut in too far. You're cutting on the line. And you're going to cut it all the way through the neck. Now when you're doing other stamps, I love doing this because you can just come up with so many different clothes designs. You can just have all kinds of fun. I hear my dogs barking upstairs. I bet the mailman's early. That's probably what's going on. I don't know if you can hear them, but I sure can. Alright, now you could technically paper piece this bottom, but I didn't. I left it white because I felt like she might have a little dress on under, like, and it peeking through, but you could use the design paper for that. You get it a little closer here. All right. Now that that's cut, we can do the paper piecing. And I just picked different scraps from my bin that I thought would make cute little dresses So now, as you can see, it's going to go right there and glue right on. And for the dress, I used 2 different colors. Now here, since this is Christmas, you see the star. When I stamped this, I covered up the star. Now in some of them, I forgot to, and the flowers that I put on the dress, like this one. If you look really close, you can see the star behind there, and I realized it didn't matter. So even though I masked it out, I don't think you'd need to mask it out if you're going to fill the pocket with items. Now, before I glued this piece on, I had everything right here for you guys so that I could get right to it. Yes, I do. I have it. I took my little cutter and I opened up the pocket a little bit on the line. And that way I can tuck flowers in there. And I have some flowers cut. Now I used these Thinlit Sizzix dies for all this little greenery. It worked out great. They were a perfect size. This was 665945 Lisa Jones. But you know, you can use any kind that you want, or you could leave this star if you were doing it for Christmas. Now for these, I trimmed it, made it a little smaller, and then I tucked it on in there like this. Alright? And that set, those dies I showed you, have these teeny tiny little flowers too that I could put on here. I have so many things. I've not made a video this involved for you guys before. I've shown you things that I've made, but I've not actually put a video and done it at the same time. Alright, I just want to give you an idea of what that looks like. And then I put the dress on. Now I could leave this white. That looks really cute, white even. But I did cut yellow sleeves that I thought about putting on there, because then I can stamp this again and I can make a new pocket out of the yellow if I wanted to. Or I could leave it blank, plain, and stamp it and put a little heart. But see what we can do? And see, I think I'm going to leave it white. I think I'm going to leave it white just so you can see. And then they go on really nicely. Well, we do need to change that because it blends in with those. Wouldn't this be neat to paper piece these in maybe some flowers? So paper piecing is a whole lot of fun. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how this came together. Now see, on this, because this is a darker color, that would look really cute. I did go and ink around all of the clothes. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me show you, before I forget, the Velcro dots that I used are the 3 1/8 inch little circles. These are very flat. And not all Velcro dots are created equal, everybody. You want thin ones for this kind of project. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing this. This is going to be a 2 Crafters 1 design, hosted by Mo Creations, Glory of Girliest Cards, Lisa by UCY I'm a Diva, And this is also going to be a hashtag Satmorn Makes, and hosted by Jill Norwood. These were for this week the ladies for hashtag 2crafters1design. They wanted you to do Mother's Day, and this is my Mother's Day gift for my mom. Now I'll have to decide which one to give her. One's for me and one's for her. And I hope you're having a great crafty day. Thanks for stopping by and watching. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.